All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Canada. And we have got a very busy day today. We've got Rybakina taking on Lee to start the day. And then we go from there. Andreeva, Eala, Fonseca, Osaka's playing today. Jovic is playing right now. She's losing, which is a little bit of a surprise. So she's in trouble. Who else is playing today? Shelton. Bencic. Gauff is playing as well. Yeah, it's a super, super busy day. But what's going on, Chad? Are we ready for the day? Are we ready to get through this day? Can't wait for Fonseca. Yeah, it's going to be a great match. All right. Pleased that Norrie is still doing it for the Brits. We love Norrie, but I won't talk about it. Okay. Lee. 31 in the world. Let's see if she can take on Rybakina. Rybakina hasn't been in the best of form, so there is an opportunity for Lee to make this tough. So let's see. Jovic is down match point. By the way, chat, I was thinking of watching that one, but I had other things I wanted to get. I need to get stuff ready for the streams. But if you don't know who Korneva is, she is her and Andreeva, Mirra Andreeva, were the rivals of the juniors, and she beat Andreeva in that Australian Open final a couple of years ago in the juniors. So yeah, she is. If you don't know who she is legit, and she just beat Jovic. Yeah, so she is, and in straight sets too. That was crazy. Yeah, so she is fully legit, and now she's in the fourth round of a Masters. Came through the qualies, beat Navarro as well. Yeah, Korneva is super dangerous. 19-year-old from Russia, but yeah, her and Andreeva they know each other very well. Gauff and Sakari winner plays Korneva, so we're gonna get to watch her as well if she does play Gauff. So that's gonna be good. But yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy result. Another player to look out for. Yep. WTA is stacked. Stacked with players. All right, this is the first time these two have played. So let's see what happens. 1 second. All right. Who am I picking for this? I'm going to go Rybakina in straights. I think this is an opportunity for Rybakina to do what we expect her to do, right? And that's win one of these matches. Like she's had a lot of tough matches over the last couple of months, so I think this is an opportunity for her to get a good win. Just get a straightforward win. And I'm going to back her to do that. All right. All right. Here we go. It's going to be Lee to serve. Who you got, chat? Who you got winning this one? Bad loss for Jovic? Yeah. I mean, it's probably more a long time coming for Korneva, to be honest. I think it's more Korneva, showing the world, hey, I'm still, I was a good junior as well, along with all these young players that are coming through. She's, puts her hands up. Will be easy win for Gauff. What, against Korneva or against Sakari? 15 love. As we return goes out by Rybakina, 30 love. How's the weather looking? Overcast. So, it's looking a little grim. 30 love. Have they shown Rybakina's box yet? No, not yet. As with a double fault. 30-15. As with a fault from Lee, second serve. And another double fault. All right, 30-all. As Lee serves another fault. Second serve. The point of Rybakina. Lee goes again. The point of Rybakina. Lee in the net. 30-40. Break point Rybakina. As another fault, second serve. Into the back of Rybakina. Great return. Lee hits it long, and there's the break for Rybakina. All right. 1 love. One zero. All right. Rybakina breaks. As the return goes out by Lee, and it's 15 love. All right, 15 love. Rybakina serves again. Into the front of Lee. Rybakina backhand. Again to the front of Lee. Rybakina keeps it into the front of Lee, and Rybakina now with the forehand cross court. Lee shanks it. It goes into the front of Rybakina. Lee then pushes it wide. 30 love. All those players that beaten Eala before has fallen. Noskova, Buskova, Krejcikova, Parks, and now Jovic. Yeah. Yep. Gauff's still there, though. Rybakina, I mean, there's like, yeah, there's a lot of players that she hasn't beaten that have gone, but there are a lot of players that she has still lost to there. You know. Anyways, 2 love, Rybakina. To love. It's overcast. I reckon we will get rain today. I think the next couple of days is supposed to be rain on and off. Are we going to cover Eala later? I think we might. I've heard, and this is just word on the street, is that she's kind of a big deal right now. Like yeah. So I think we might take a look and see what Eala's all about. I've seen a lot of. She's featured in a lot of podcasts at the moment, so I'm thinking maybe there's something to that. I don't know. So we'll check out Eala later. We'll see why everyone seems to be talking about her, because I have no idea. 15 love. The radar doesn't look promising. Yeah, as long as we can get through like a match, I'll be happy. Yeah, word on the street, Eala is someone to look out for. So we will. I think we might. Today's the day. We might see what all the fuss is about. Just today. 30 love. Hot tip, Eala's on the rise? Yeah, I'm getting that feeling too. Yeah. So probably worth to see what's going on. Get a feeling of what's happening, you know. As that goes out by Lee. It's 30-15. I think you have a video about a match. No. I made a video about Eala? Nah, you must be mistaken. That must have been someone else. 30-15. I only heard about her yesterday. As the return goes the forehand of Lee. Lee puts it away, 40-15. Korneva is the hot tip probably. Yeah, I mean, again, I was thinking of watching Jovic versus Korneva just because I thought, because I wanted to see what Korneva could do, because, like I said, her and Andreeva grew up playing against each other. I remember talking about when Andreeva broke out, hey, also watch out for this Korneva as well. And she's not been, obviously, as good as Andreeva yet. So I was thinking of watching that, and then I just had a bunch of stuff I had to do before the stream. So I was like, okay. And then looking at the result, I'm like, all right. Well, we'll watch her play Coco if she plays Gauff in the next round. It sucks because we don't get Gauff versus Jovic, which would have been a banger. But yeah, if Gauff can beat Zachary, Gauff versus Korneva, at least we'll get to see her in the flesh and see what's up. We have watched her before. But if you don't know who Korneva is, and today's the first day you're hearing about her because she's beaten Jovic and it's a big win. Her and Andreeva were the best juniors of their generation. They played in the Junior Australian Open final, where Korneva got the win over Jovic, which And then that was only like a couple months before Andreeva broke out on the WTA. That was early 2023. Middle of 2023, that's when Andreeva started to pop off. Korneva kind of got left behind a little bit. It's so interesting how much a wild card can affect somebody's career, because we saw that with Eala, right? Eala gets a wild card to Miami. She was playing a lot before that. It wasn't like she did nothing and then had a wild card. But Eala gets a wild card to Miami, has a couple of wins, and now look where she is, right? That was the opportunity that gave her a chance to rise. Andreeva got that opportunity in 2023 when she played Madrid. She got a wild card in Madrid after doing really well on the Challenger circuit and in the ITF circuit. She'd won a lot of matches before that. So when she lost the Australian Open junior final, Andreeva was playing as a junior on the main tour, winning a bunch of titles, and then that got the attention of the tournaments. So then Madrid were like, "We'll give her a wild card," and then she gets to like the semis or the quarters, right? And that launches Andreeva's career, and now she's a Grand Slam champion, right? Now, was she always going to make it? Probably, but sometimes you need that little bit of opportunity, right? You need that little bit of you need the opportunity. And now, speaking of Eala and Andreeva, both of them have had. Well, Eala had wild cards before that. She had chances in the main draws of tournaments, but when you're outside the top 100 and you have to qualify for everything, it's not always easy. So getting that wild card can really change someone's career. Korneva hasn't had that opportunity. So she hasn't had that wild card, which, again, it's another thing fascinating about wild cards. I mean, there's always that controversy around, who deserves it, right? And a lot of people think that the young players of the next generation deserve a chance. And those are two examples of players that have had an opportunity by getting a wild card and then going on to become the players they are now. And I'm sure there's other examples, but they're the two recent examples. As we're to backhand now to the backhand of Rybakina, forehand from Lee into the forehand of Rybakina. Lee with a forehand again into the backhand of Rybakina as Lee forehand goes wide, and it's 3-1. But yeah, so Korneva's had to go through like the hard way. Also, I think she had some injuries as well, which is only 19, so she's also had a few injuries she's had to battle through in her young career. But now she's starting to put her put herself on the map. Statement win over Jovic, who is another good young player, and I'm sure they would have played in juniors or at least known each other. 2023, Korneva was number 1 in the world in the juniors after winning the Australian Open. She also lost in the semis of Wimbledon to Bartunkova of the junior Wimbledon. I think Bartunkova went on to win the tournament in that for Wimbledon 2023. She beat Jones at the French Open. Oh, she also won the French Open. Sorry, I forgot that. She also won Roland Garros in 2023 juniors. When Andreeva was breaking out on the main tour, Korneva was still playing juniors and winning that. She beats Andreeva in the final of Australia. So 2 Grand Slam titles that year, and a semis of Wimbledon as well. She didn't play the US at the end of that year. She ended up winning I guess it's the WTT Junior Finals, which is the World Tennis Tour Junior Finals, which is basically the ATP Finals, WTA Finals for the juniors, the Junior Masters. She ended up winning that. So she had a pretty phenomenal final junior year, but just hasn't been able to break out until now. And it only takes, I mean, look, like I said, Andreeva and Eala, they got wild cards, broke out at Masters, right? You win, you do well, even though it's, Canada's not seen as the most, I guess, important Masters. I don't know if that's the word. But if you get to the 4th round or a quarterfinal of a 1,000 title as a young player, people are watching, people will recognize you, and remember that. I'm just having a look at some of the other players she played in the juniors. No other familiar names. Oh, Seidel. Oh, Schneider. She lost to Schneider in the juniors as well. She played Preston. Who else? Valentova. So yeah, a few of these players that we've come to know over the last couple of years. All right, 15:30 as that goes in the net by Rybakina. 30-all. All right, 30-all. As we're back in the backhand into the slice of Lee. Lee in the net, 30-40. All right, 30-40. We're back and looking for that double break. As Lee serves a let. As Rybakina return, Lee with a slice. Goes out, double break. 4-1 Rybakina. All right. All right. All right. All right. 4-1 Rybakina cruising. All right. All right. Sabalenka secured number 1 ranking for this tournament. For what tournament? For the US Open or for... What do you mean? All right. 4-1 Rybakina, double break. Rybakina won Stuttgart, but it is another title time. It is time for another title. Yeah, it's been a long time. Since that win, she hasn't really done anything. There's been a return now from Lee into the form of Rybakina. Lee with a slice in the net. 15-love. Yeah, Rybakina, we've talked about this because we haven't watched Rybakina that much, and that's because we've missed the matches that she's lost. Both Wimbledon and Roland Garros, we didn't watch her upset losses because, again, like I said yesterday, she wasn't supposed to lose. She did make the Rome quarters, which wasn't bad. She lost to the eventual champion, Svitolina. But yeah, Madrid, she lost to Potapova in the 3rd round, which is a little bit upsetting. 4th round, a little bit crazy. Then Roland Garros 2nd round, quarterfinals, Queen's Club. She lost in Berlin to Eala. And then in Merton, she lost the 3rd round of Wimbledon. So, yeah. Hasn't had the greatest run of form. And then even against Dasha, like I love Dasha, but that 1st round match, or that 2nd round match, she got through it, barely got through it. Wasn't easy. As with a backhand, Rybakina goes long, 15-30. Chance for Lee to get a break back. So yeah, so since Rome, she's 5 wins, 4 losses since Rome quarterfinals. So yeah, she's 50-50, which is not ideal. And that includes the Dasher match. Before Dasher's match, she was 4 wins, 4 losses in the last couple of months, which again, very. That's, I mean, maybe it is because the world number 1 ranking became more and more attainable, right? Maybe that was part of it. Maybe part of the reason she's struggling is because she knows that she has an opportunity to be number 1 if she does win. And maybe she feels that pressure a little bit. Backing up the line to the forehand of Lee. Lee hits a passing shot winner. Great shot. And it's 30-40. 30-40. And I wonder if, and here's a theory, I wonder if Sabalenka's also not playing as well because Rybakina is not playing as well. Like, Sabalenka doesn't have, like when Rybakina loses early, Sabalenka doesn't have that extra motivation to try and keep winning. Not saying that she loses on purpose or anything, like, double fault, 4-2, we'll break back. But you know what I mean? Like, if your greatest rival or your fierce rival and the person who's trying to take that number 1 spot from you loses, maybe you lose a little bit of an edge going forward because you know that, I don't have to win. You know what I mean? Like Sabalenka losing, because I think Rybakina lost at Wimbledon and then Sabalenka lost like right after that. Like Sabalenka's losing after Rybakina loses. Like, no, there's not too, like, as soon as Rybakina's gone, it's like, I'm still number 1. I don't have to worry. You know what I mean? And then maybe lets up a little bit and gets, and then there's an upset for her as well. Because they have been losing. They've both been, Sabalenka's also not been having a great couple of months since, probably since Madrid, right? Or Rome. Whereas when they were both, pushing each other at the start of the year, we had Rybakina and Sabalenka in the finals of tournaments all the time at the start of the year. They were making the finals or winning the titles all through the first couple of months. I don't know, maybe just something to think about. Be interesting if Rybakina loses this week, if Sabalenka loses as well, right? Am I familiar with Lily Tagger? Yeah, we watched her. Have we watched her yet? I don't know. But yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. She has a one-handed backhand, so it's going to get a lot of people talking. 30-15. $30-15. As the return goes in front of Lee. Lee hits it out. 30-all. 30-all. By the way, chat, we're almost at 200 likes. Appreciate that. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. If you're walking in for the first time, welcome. Good morning. Hello. We are here for a big, big day. Straight after this, we've got the match with Andreeva Fernandez. Should be fun. Bit of fault second serve. As that goes out by Rybakina on the return, 40-30. First serve is a fault, second serve. Serve from the backhand. Rybakina, great angled return winner. Deuce. All right, return from Rebecca goes long, advantage late. Which WTA has the most titles wins this year? Is it Noskova? Who has the most titles this year? I think it's on. I think it's. Is it? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think it. Has anyone won 3 titles? I can't think of anybody who's won more than 2 titles. Is there anyone who's won 3? Pegula? No, Svitolina maybe. Svitolina's won a few. Maybe Svitolina? Is it a backhand now from Lee? That goes out back to Deuce. Maybe Svitolina? Oh no, Sabalenka and Andreeva. I was going to say Andreeva. So Sabalenka and Andreeva won 3 each. Oh, yeah, okay, because Andreeva and Sabalenka won before the Australian Open. That's what I'm getting confused. I forgot they played before the Australian Open and won. We watched those tournaments too, but yeah. I'm thinking like post-Australian Open, who's won? Nobody's won 3 titles. If you exclude the start of the year. Yeah, so Andreeva's got 3, including the French, and she also won pardon me. She also won Linz. Oh, she won Linz too. I forgot that. Advantage Rybakina for a double break. And Sabalenka's won. She won the Sunshine Double and she won Brisbane. So there you go. Kostruk's won 2. She's won. Kostruk's won 2, but she has made 2 semis of slams. So, all right, advantage Rybakina. As the backhand return goes the slice of Lee. Lee in the net. There's the double break again. Rybakina gets it back. All right. Rybakina back with a double break, 5-2. By the way, chat, yesterday after stream, I ended up getting my big bowl of pho, which was delicious. Crispy pork. It was exactly what I needed. Broth. Oh, it's beautiful. So good. And I sat there and I watched Geordie Shore, season 9. That I found at the thrift store the other day. I'm like, this is what I need. I need to sit here and eat this hearty meal and watch trash TV. And it was great. And it was exactly what I needed. And I feel much better. I feel much better. Much better. And then I decided to clean my kitchen because it was a bit of a mess. And then that made me feel even more energized because my kitchen was a shit show. So now my kitchen looks like it could be in a magazine or a display home. And that makes me feel less stressed. That I can walk into my kitchen and it's not a mess. It's calm. Yeah, I didn't touch the oven or the range hood. I'm not cutting my fingers open again, even though I did it this time last year. I looked and I'm like, do I clean that? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to clean that again. Oh, just the thought of cleaning that, my finger, just the feeling of my finger just slicing through that bloody sharp metal. Ugh. I can feel it already. I'm not going to touch that thing. I start wearing metal gloves. What's my favorite beer? I don't really drink beer. I think beer... I mean, Peroni? I don't mind a Peroni. 30 Love, on the off occasion that I drink a beer. I don't mind a Peroni. Not a sponsor. As we get a return, goes out by Lee, and it's 40 Love. Set points for Rybakina. To take the first set, 30 minutes. As the return goes in the form of Rybakina up the line to the slice of Lee. Lee hits it wide. Rybakina. First set the bag, 6-2. That's the Rybakina we want to see. That is the Rybakina that I signed up for. All right, 6-2. 6-2. All right. I thought Pegula was going to win, but... Wait, win where? All right, first set in the bag. 4 winners, 10 errors by Lee. 3 winners, 7 errors by Rybakina. So not a great set of tennis, but 4 breaks of serve in that set. All break points converted. Oh, you're talking about Washington? Yeah, Pegula would have won it if it didn't rain. And I think she would admit that too, right? I think if the rain delay doesn't happen, she wins that match. But the rain delay happens, and then because Eala played probably the same on both days. I don't think Eala's game changed that much on day 2. I think day 2, maybe she was a little bit more aggressive. She did. She probably was a bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more urgency. But yeah, the difference between, and Pegula said this in the press conference, that she was not the same player on the Monday than she was on the Sunday. She said she just didn't have rhythm, she couldn't figure it out. So, and that was apparent. All right. I still find it so weird that Ozempic are sponsoring this tournament. Does anyone else think it's weird? I feel like that's so weird. Like, it's such a weird sponsor. Why would that be a sponsor for a sporting event? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Gambling ads, yes, okay, I get that. I'm looking at all the sponsors. There's the tournaments, the stadium name is a sponsor, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Yeah, okay. Financial institutions, banking, okay, I get that. We've seen that. But Ozempic is wild. I don't understand. How does that relate to tennis? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's so out of place. But we're talking about it, so it's working. So let's shut the hell up and not talk about it. All right, so one guy has an umbrella. Oh, no, all the umbrellas. Oh, all the umbrellas. A lot of umbrellas. Umbrellas are up. Also, Palini pulled out of Cincy as well. I don't think she'll be playing much. I think she's got a foot injury, right? I think she has a foot injury, Palini. It is raining. People are putting on their trash bags, aka ponchos. Ponchos are just plastic bags, right? With holes in them. If they didn't have a hood, they'd be a trash bag. Like, they're just fancy trash bags. But they're effective, so like I'm not hating. Like, you could just get a trash bag and just cut some holes in it, and it'd be a poncho. And you'd be dry. Raducanu injured? Yes. Maybe an enhanced games sponsor. But for a proper event, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I find it strange, yeah. Eala should have lost to Svitolina or Osaka, but to Pegula? I don't think she should have lost to Svitolina. I think against Svitolina, she was that was very much a chance to win. Osaka, I think that Osaka could have done better against Eala. But my chat, I'm saying this is a joke, so if you're going to get mad, don't get mad. This is a joke. But does it feel like, I don't know, does it... how do I say this? Whenever I don't know what it is, but whenever I see people, like every single press conference on the women's side is getting asked about Eala, right? Every player. Which I guess is for the clips, I guess. But does it... I don't know about you, but it's starting to feel like everybody who's getting asked is like the person behind the camera is like holding a gun to them. They've got that kind of like that look of like they get asked about her, like, what do you think about her on the tour? And they're all just like, yes, she's great for the tour. And then it's like, well, yeah, you better say the right thing. You better say the right thing now. I don't know. Every time I see like somebody answering a question about it, especially when it's like so irrelevant, like why would somebody who's on the opposite side of the draw, who doesn't have anything to do with Eala, why do you need their reaction to Eala? Like it's just getting a bit like every person's getting asked about her, which I think is a little bit excessive. The next opponent, yes. Her friends, yes. Her doubles partner, of course, but I don't know. Why do we have to ask the player that's like not even in the same half? You know, it gets a little much. But every time I watch one of them, I'm just like, it's just funny. I'm like, you better say the right thing now. Don't muck up now. Don't say no. Don't say something that might get misinterpreted. Now you better be nice. And I just think of like, blink twice if you're being held hostage kind of vibes. Just blink twice. Blink twice. By the way, I don't think any of the players that are responding are being ingenuine, but it just is funny that it's like the amount of people that are getting asked, and it's just like, I guess they're just waiting for that one person to say something that's not positive or not like glowingly complimentary, so then they can get them. We need Danielle Collins back. We need Danielle Collins to answer a question about Eala. That's what I want to see. No, you know what we need? We need Danielle Collins to play Eala. With that crowd? Come on now. You know you want that, chat. You know you want that. We've seen her play Penko a bunch, but we need Collins versus Eala. Come on now. Players are still on the court. They're just wiping down the lines. That's what we need. We need Collins Eala. That would be... Or even Put and Saver. Ooh, Put and Saver might be a good one too. Somebody who is known to react to crowds. Put and Saver is actually a good one, because remember when Put and Saver and Sonmez played in Australia and she danced in front of the Turkish crowd and they all booed her? Maybe we need that. Put and Saver Eala is more likely. All right, we're back. Short delay. First set in the bag, 6-2. The interviewers aren't even Filipino. Why they felt the need to ask? It's because they're probably just trying to get the clip, right? I mean, they're asking the question because then they can clip that up and say, hey, because I mean, there's a thing right now. Eala's the face of the WTA at the moment, so. And the thing is, and it's really because the Filipino crowd want to hear what everybody thinks about Eala, right? What Eala is, they want to hear everything about Eala. So the questions from the journalists are about Eala because they know that there's a need for that. There's a want for that, right? Even if it feels like the questions don't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to ask, Sabalenka, or I don't know if Sabalenka's been asked, but it doesn't make sense to ask like somebody from the other part of the draw about her because they're not playing her. The face of the WTA? Well, she is. Well, maybe not the face, but she's definitely becoming one of the faces of the WTA. And that's why I said right now. Right now she is. Right now, when you look up WTA, Eala is one of the big names on the WTA. Like it or not, that's the way it is. Slice goes in from Lee into the forehand of Rybakina, and Rybakina in the net, 40-15. It is what it is. Like, that's just fact. Collins is favoring Eala. Okay. But I want to see her play Eala, and I want to see how Collins feels about the crowd. Because that's a different story. You can praise Eala from a podcast studio, but I want to see her play Eala and play in that environment. Because that's a different. I don't know. I think I hope Collins comes back. I hope she's not quietly quitting. I'm sure she's coming back. I know she had surgery and stuff, so because we need players like Collins. Because even though she is controversial, it is fun. It is fun to have her around. I think Putintseva in the short term, Putintseva versus Eala, we need to get that match because we know that Putintseva doesn't mince words. That could be really interesting. All right, One Love Lee. As Rybakina serves. As the return goes out by Lee, 15 love. As Rybakina serves again. Into the forehand of Lee. And then Rybakina forehand in the net. 15-0. Oh, love 15. What happened? Was the first point a let? Oh, my bad. Whoops. It's all right. I'm paying attention. Did Fritz beat Hodar? Yeah, he did. Serve. Love 15 as the return goes in the net. Now it's 15-0. I knew it was going to be 15-0. You just had to give me a second. 15-0. All right, 15-0. Serve. Into the forehand of Lee. Rybakina forehand again to the forehand of Lee. It's Rybakina up. Hits it long. And it's 15-30. Trouble for Rybakina to start. Serve is a let. Serve into the forehand of Lee. Lee hits it wide. 30-0. And Rybakina serves an ace. 40-30. Rybakina serves a fault. Second serve. Korneva practiced a lot with Eala at the Rafa Academy. Did she? There you go. All right, return the net by Lee, and it's 1-1 in the second. Once Eala wins a bigger title, like a 1,000 or slam, it's over. What do you mean it's over? What's over? All right, 1-1. Real question, though. Does Alex have public popularity potential if she becomes top 5? Or do you think she's someone who will just attract a lot of stands, but not general public? I don't know about stands, but I mean, to be honest, like, I'll tell you what will happen, like when we'll find that out. The only way we'll find that out is when she starts to lose. So, and that's where I'm very interested to see what happens in general, because she wasn't talked about much when she was playing on clay. A lot of people were not focusing on Eala on the clay, right? But now they're focusing on it, right? So that's when she eventually, loses the hot streak and she goes, she has a couple of losses, whatever that is. Maybe it's this year, next year, whatever. That's when we'll find out whether or not the general public still, care, right? Because everybody cares when you're winning. Everybody, and even more so with Eala, because social media is king, right? So lot of people are caring about Eala right now because it gets some likes, it gets some views, it gets some clicks, all that shit. But will they be watching her when she loses 3 or 4 matches in a row? Or will they drop off and focus on the next person who's going to get that, whatever it is, if it's Alcaraz or if it's Fonseca or if it's, some other new kid? That's when you'll find out whether or not the public will care as much, because, that's when you'll see the real fans of Eala stick around, and there'll be a lot of drop off. Like, a lot of people are going to move on to the next thing, right? Oh, well, that was fun. Let's go watch whoever else who's winning it now, right? And that's just tennis, though. Everybody does that. People drop out Alcaraz the second he doesn't win, right? Like, everyone was like, Alcaraz was the king of the world, and then he loses 2 matches, and everyone's like, see, he's overrated. Like, that was such crap. Whenever that happened so much at the start of Alcaraz's career. He'd win a Grand Slam or he'd do something that no one's ever done, and then he'd lose 2 matches, and it's like, see, it was a fluke. And then now he's got 7 slams. It still happens with Alcaraz. And now people are like, Alcaraz is going to retire because his wrist is terrible. And they're like, okay. So that's like when a player's not playing well, that's when you find out who their fans are, right? Because everybody's on board when they're winning. Same thing with Sinner. I mean, Sinner was winning all the 1000s. He loses second round of the French, and then it's like, well, he has a fitness problem. And, it's like, it only takes a couple of losses before everybody changes their mind, But when you're winning, everybody loves you. Everybody's on board. So that's why I'm more interested to see not only how the reaction is to Eala when she loses some matches, but also how she deals with it, because I think she's pretty level-headed, and I don't think she's going to be that bothered by people dropping off of her. Like, she has enough fans that she's not going to be bothered by, if she loses a few matches, she's not going to lose her career, right? But I'm interested to see how she handles, because right now she is the it girl of the WTA, right? She's winning. Everybody's in love with her. Everybody wants to talk to her. But if she loses a couple matches, how does she deal with a bit of a downturn, right? Because it's all been up and up, right? She hasn't had a backward slide like everybody else does. It always you never can just go up and then stay number one and then retire, right? That doesn't happen. It's always like this. Even Djokovic has that, right? Djokovic has been up and then he's been down, and he's been up and then down. So we haven't seen Eala on the downturn yet, and that's where we'll find out a lot. But I don't think Eala is going to really be that bothered if Tennis Channel stop interviewing her. I don't think she cares. She's not playing for the fame, right? She's not playing for attention. She's playing to win. So, but we'll see. Sustained success is the way to stay relevant. Well, yeah, but look, even Sabalenka and Rybakina, they haven't been winning lately. And all the attention's been focusing on Andreeva or Kostyuk or Noskova, right? Whereas at the start of the year, it was all about Sabalenka-Rybakina. That was it. It was them. It was that rivalry was the one. That was the Sinkaraz of the WTA. They haven't been winning much, so the attention's kind of... Even Anisimova. Anisimova is a great example of... no one's talking about Anisimova, right? Because 12 months ago, she was kicking ass and she was, doing everything. Now, it's like... She's still top 10. She's still very relevant, but nobody's talking about her at all. Right? So it might not be a bad thing. Some players don't want that attention, extra pressure, right? So, but yeah, it'll just be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how things go for the rest of the season, because we've still got plenty of time left for the rest of the year. All right. We're back into serving again. Sorry, Cam, but Eala was the reason Filipino watch and learn and become interested in tennis, except, of course, those who are already here. But Philippines, it is only now. Why are you sorry? What are you sorry about? I agree. A lot of people from the Philippines are watching tennis because of Eala. Yes, I agree. Are you saying that if Eala doesn't play well, they won't watch tennis? Is that what you're saying? Or what are you saying? Win or lose, we'll always support her. Yeah, I know that. I'm not saying... Okay. I'm not talking about the Filipino fans. I'm not talking about the hardcore, the Eala fans. You guys are going to support her thick and thin. You already have. Right? You guys watch her matches even on the clay courts when she wasn't winning. So I know you. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the people that her new fans. I think that's the best way to explain it. Her new fans, her newfound fans that are not from the Philippines. I'm talking about those people. How long are those people going to stick around when she starts to lose? Those are the people that the Filipino fans are not going to go, oh well, Eala's losing, let's watch Coco Gauff now. No. You're gonna stick true. I know that. I'm talking about the people that are new fans of Eala that didn't know who Eala was 12 months ago, or didn't care about Eala 6 months ago, right? And now she's their favorite player, right? And that's where do those people end up? Because the Eala fans, you guys have been sticking with her since before Miami, right? A lot of you guys were telling me back in 2022 when she won the US Open Juniors, hey, we got a player from the Philippines. Her name's Eala. Watch out. You were the ones who told me about her back in the day. You were pre-Miami. You were the true OG fans. All right, 2-2. But I'm talking about the people that are right now are super, super interested in Eala. And then, we'll see what happens in 6 months. We'll see. Or if it's, on to the next one, right? Or, if there's another player that starts doing well and it's, okay, well, now I'm going to watch her or him or whatever. That's where it'd be interesting. But it won't make a difference to Eala. I don't think Eala cares that much. Because at the end of the day, she's always going to have the Philippines they're always going to back her forever. Like, she'll never lose that support. Is it a 4-4 rally? And that goes out by Rybakina. 15-all. Sorry, 30 love. Yeah. I know, we're talking about Eala again and again and again. I know. All right, no more talking about Eala until we watch her later. All right. Any questions about her will be answered in the stream about her when she plays McNally. No more talk. Is it a forehand into the forehand of Lee? Forehand from Rybakina. Again to the forehand of Lee. Rybakina. Hits it wide. 40 love. Any non-Eala questions are welcome. All right. As it a backhand from Lee goes long, 40-15. We didn't start the Eala talk. I don't know who started it, but I'm blaming chat. No, I said that it was funny that everybody looked like they were getting held hostage when asked about Eala. I was making a joke, and then it turned into a full-on Q&A. So, okay, maybe I started it, all right? But I started because I was making a joke that everybody looked like they were being held hostage. Go watch them. You tell me that they don't all look like they're panicking inside. 40-30. All right. Now, from this moment on, we're not talking about it. Starting now. 40-30. I'm not being held hostage starting now. I'm not being held hostage. Everything I say is genuine. Starting now. No more talk. It's starting now. We get to deuce. Starting now. Move on. Next question. I just had to clear that up though, but next question. Who's Joint's next opponent? I'm not going to make a joke. Joint is playing against Samsonova today. Tough match. I think she's playing against Samsonova really soon, like in the next hour or so. Good serve from Lee. Advantage Lee. As the return goes out by Rybakina, 3-2 Lee. Winner of this plays the winner of Joint and Samsonova. So, and I think, am I on? Do I remember right? Is Samsonova got like a record over Rybakina? I think she does, right? Bit of a boogie woman. Doesn't she have like a 4-2 record or something? Do you know the movie Obsession that became a hit? It's about you, Cam. It's definitely not about me. What is? I love that movie. It's not about me. Why? How? Enlighten me, smartass. Enlighten me. What? Because I fuck you. Fuck off. Hey, don't be mean. I don't even work in a music store. And I'm married. So you can all get stuffed. I'm not like Bear or Ian. All right? I'm like Sarah. I want to see Joint win again. Well, hopefully she can win today. What would I wish for if I had one wish? Chad, I watched that movie. I wouldn't even be going near that thing. All right, 3-2 Lee. Rybakina slow down a bit. What? I think Rybakina. I think Sabalenka's the one to beat. Yeah, easily $1 billion. Maybe. No. The thing is, if you wish for $1 billion, then the authorities are going to ask how you got it, and it might be pretty annoying. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get you might get in trouble because it's like, how'd you come for all this money? That's weird. How'd that happen? What dodgy? Were you being dodgy? How did that happen? You know what I mean? It's never as good as it seems, chat. You got to. There'll be. I don't know. Did you not watch the movie? 15-0. Be careful what you wish for. You know. I don't think it's as. Oh yeah, it sounds good, but then it's like, okay, but then how do you explain that to everybody else? How do you explain it? 15-0. Who won Toronto last year? Shelton. As it a 4 in the net by Rybakina. And it's 15-30. 15-30. Mboko won the women's event, the Canada event last year, if you're talking about the ladies. Mboko and Shelton were the winners. You say you won the lottery? Okay, maybe. 15-30. First serve default, second serve. Second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Rybakina. 4 now from Lee. Into the backhand of Rybakina. Lee with a forehand again to the backhand of Rybakina. Into the forehand of Lee as Rybakina forehand to the forehand of Lee. And Lee puts it in the net. 30-all. You know what would be more of a... Like, if you wanted to wish for money, wouldn't unlimited money be better? Like, have like a credit card that was like... Or like a bank card that was unlimited? Wouldn't that be smarter? So then every time you're just basically paying for it free. Like, everything's free. Like, you're scanning the card and you get everything... Like, wouldn't that be better? Better than cash. Like, and you just buy things using the card. And it just completely it just regenerates every time. Wouldn't that be smarter? I don't know. Anyway, it's 30-40. Smart until other people catch on. Or the card expires. And then you're going to get a new card. Yes. The card expires on the in 2028, and then it's over. You got to get a new card, and then it doesn't work on the new card. 30-40. Is it a 4-4 rally? And that goes out by Lee. We're back to deuce. What if you want to gamble? Why would you gamble? What if you lost the card? Yeah, that'd suck if you lost the card. Or the card broke. Yeah, okay. All right, maybe not a great idea. Anyway, slice return into the forehand of Rybakina. And that's a winner by Rybakina. Chad, why wouldn't you wish to just be happy all the time? That would then you would live in like ignorant bliss. Wouldn't that be nice? What if you just like now? Because then internally you're like dying. Like that could be bad. But on the like, I want to be happy all the time, and then you're just like constantly smiling, even inside of you crying. That's horrible. We need a sequel to Obsession. 4-4 rally that goes out by Lee. 3-3. I want to be happy all the time, and the whole time you're just like, Even though you're like, I'm really sad right now. But it's like, why are you smiling? All right. Yeah, something bad happens to you and you're just like, or something, you're talking to somebody who's going through stuff and you're just smiling the whole time. Yeah, maybe not a good idea. That's probably yeah, maybe not. All right, 3-0. As with a shanked forehand long by Lee, and it's love 15. There's already a movie called Smile. Go watch that movie. It's about smiling. Love 15. As a return gets backhand of Lee, backhand of Rybakina to the backhand of Lee. As Rybakina backhand again to the backhand of Lee. Into the backhand of Rybakina. Lee forehand. Into the forehand of Rybakina. Up the line to the backhand slice of Lee. Backhand Rybakina again. Lee slices again. As Rybakina slices up the line, Lee gets it back with a forehand winner. Nice. 15-0. Also, like, it would be annoying if you knew, like, I don't know, like, if somebody was only happy the whole time, it would get frustrating for your friends, right? Because you'd be like, why are you always happy? Show a different emotion. It's like, I can't. I can't show more. I'm just happy all the time. Like, it would be very, like, it would be very annoying. Maybe for everybody else, but it'd be good for you. I mean, but you wouldn't care because you're happy. So everybody hates me. Oh well, I mean, I feel I'm okay. I am happy. 30-15. I wish to be you wish to be a well-adjusted adult. Okay. That's Joker. Yeah, that's basically Joker. That's true. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, true. Anyways, 30-0. Yeah, you couldn't go to funerals. Yeah, I mean, there's. But then again, maybe you'll be like the light that everybody needs in those situations. Like, oh well, at least I can, at least that person's happy. So then it's kind of like you feel better about yourself. Maybe I don't know, or it's annoying. Anyway, it's 40-30. We're off track, kind of. 40-30. Lee to stay in front. As that goes in the net by Rybakina, it's 4-3 Lee. If only I had one wish, I would make any wish, but on condition that it can be turned back. Oh, so you're smart. All right, 4-3. I think it's more of an issue in sports like American football, but still relevant in tennis. Wait, what? What do you mean? Oh, about injury prevention. Oh, okay, my bad. WTA will do gender testing. Yes. Oh, see, this is the problem, right? You get people that are just going to be stupid. Yeah. See, the second I heard about this, I knew that people were just going to be like making really distasteful jokes. I think that's the really just low hanging, low brow, shitty jokes that are just be better. It's not even funny. All right. And I like a joke as much as this person, but that's just not funny. Oh, this person. Shut up. Shut up. Love 15. As Rybakina serves again. There's a fault, second serve. As the return goes into the backhand over Rybakina. Rybakina hits a wide. Love 30. Love 30. As Rybakina serves again. Into the backhand of Lee. Rybakina backing up the line in the net. Love 40. All right. All of a sudden, Lee has got a chance to get the break and lead and then serve for the second. Serve. It's a fault. Second serve. Serve to the backhand of Lee. Rybakina forehand to the backhand of Lee. Into the backhand of Rybakina. Rybakina to the net. There it is. And it's 5-3 Lee. 5-3 Lee. All right, Lee's going to serve for the second. . 15 love. As Rybakina needs a nice return, 15 all. Uh, 30-15. As the return goes into the forehand of Lee, and that goes out by Lee, 30 all. As with a 4-4 rally. That goes out by Rybakina. We've got a set point for Lee, 40-30. As the return goes a slice of Lee, backhand slice from Rybakina. Lee makes the error, and it's deuce. By the way, Mickelson is down a set and a break against Marita. So that's happening. Got a fault second serve. The return goes a forehand of Lee. Forehand from Rybakina, the forehand of Lee. Lee hits a wide advantage. Rybakina to get back on serve. All right, serve. Here's a fault second serve. As the return goes into the backhand of Lee. Backhand of Rybakina. Goes long. We get back to deuce. All right. Is it a forehand wide by Lee? All right. Rybakina. Advantage Rybakina to get back on serve. Is it a fault second serve? As the return goes back into Lee. Lee in the net. We're back on serve. Rybakina breaks. That was more Lee getting breaking herself. But we're back on serve. All right. All right. All right. Rybakina is back on serve. Let's see if she can level this. As she serves into the backhand of Lee. Return goes forward to Rybakina. Lee in the net. 15 love. Looking forward to Osaka versus Gauff quarterfinal potentially. Ooh, that'd be fun. Did Rinaldi reach the semis of the RG? He did. He sure did. There's a forehand now from Lee to the backhand of Rybakina. Lee forehand again, the backhand of Rybakina. As Lee forehand cross-court winner. 15-0. Great shot. 15-0. As Rybakina serves an ace. 30-15. As it a forehand wide by Rybakina. Jeez, that was a terrible shot. 30-0. All right, 30-0. As we get a fault from Rybakina. Second serve. As we get a backhand rally. It goes into the slice of Rybakina now as Lee on the attack. But Rybakina hit it long. And we got a set point for Lee on Rybakina's serve. All right, 30-40. Set point number 2. $30-40. As a return, goes the forehand of Rybakina. Forehand from Lee on the stretch. Rybakina gets the point. Lee overhits it. And we get back to deuce. Eala Gauff is interesting. I was reading that out, Chad. Don't hold that against me. Yes. Yes. Deuce. Did I get some sleep? Yeah, I slept. Like 6 hours. Backing up the line is a winner by Rybakina. And it's advantage Rybakina to level. To level this set. Serve again. As we get a forehand from Lee into the backhand of Rybakina. Lee hits in the net. It's 5-5. Rybakina holds. 5-5. All right. Five. Back to Lee. Now remember, we've got Andreeva versus Fernandez coming up next. As Lee hits a forehand wide, love 15. Love 15. By the way, chat, we're almost at 300 likes. Appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're in a big couple of weeks coming up. Cincinnati is straight after this. And then, of course, the US Open, which basically goes for 3 weeks now. And then after the US Open, I'm going to go and I don't know where I'm going to go. To be honest, I have no idea. 15-0. There's a bit of fault second serve. And the return goes the forehand of Lee. Backhand Rybakina. Into the slice of Lee. Rybakina lob. Goes long. 30-15. All right. As Lee serves the fault second serve. As Rybakina's a lovely winner up the line. All right, 30-0. As the return goes back of Lee. Lee in the net. 30-40. Rybakina to take the break. And serve for the match. All of a sudden, what a turnaround. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Double fault. There's the break. And Rybakina's going to serve for the match. All right. Six five. It seems like you're covering more WTA than ATP. That would be correct. Yes. That is true. Because currently on the ATP, it's just a less established players right now. So the focus is WTA because there's a lot more players that we have to cover. Especially during these warm-up tournaments. I talk about this a lot. During the warm-up events, it's like I try and watch all the players that are going to be a factor at the US Open, right? So, and yes, we didn't watch Zverev, right? But next week, for example, we're going to watch Djokovic, we're going to watch Sinner, and we're going to watch a lot more Zverev next week in Cincy. Because those are the guys that are most likely going to win the US Open. On the women's side, we kind of have to watch everybody because we don't know who's going to win the US Open. So all of these warm-up events, same for pre Roland Garros, pre Wimbledon. Everybody we watch, most players we watch, not everybody, but I try and watch all the players that are contenders. But on the men's side, the contenders aren't playing this week. All the contenders have lost. So it's a little bit, it's yeah. And it's hard too, because this tournament is there's a lot of overlap, right? So it's hard to watch. Do we not watch Sabalenka when we watch Hodar like yesterday? Sabalenka is more important for the US Open. You know what I mean? So that's sort of where my thinking is. And it's why we watch more WTA, because we have to watch more, we have to cover more players because we don't know who's going to win the US Open. So we got to figure it out by watching them. On the men's side, we can pretty safely say that it's Sinner, right? So we're going to watch him when he comes back. But we'll watch the others as well. We watched Shelton and Fritz last week, and we watched Hodar this week a little bit, and we'll watch Fonseca, and we've watched, we'll probably watch Shelton later in the week, and but that's just the way it is, Why not Alcaraz? Because Alcaraz is not playing in Cincy, so we can't watch him. 30-15. As Rybakina serves out wide, Lee gets it back, and it's in the net. Match points, Rybakina, 40-15. Nice fight back here in the second set. After almost looking like we're going 3. So that's why Cam watches more WTA. Yeah. Because we're trying to figure out who's going to win the whole thing. And it's not that obvious, so we have to watch a lot more tennis. As we get a let on the men's side, like I said, Sinner, it's Sinner's to lose, but he's not playing this week, so we're not watching him. All right, serve into the backhand of Lee is another let. But don't worry, we'll watch. We'll be watching a little bit more ATP later. And next week in Cincy, I'm going to try and focus more on the men's stuff, just because we haven't been. Serving to the form of Lee. Return goes short, and Rybakina comes in and puts it away. Rybakina wins. She gets it done in it's a tough second set, but fights through to win. And she is through to the 4th round, and she'll take on the winner of Samsonova and Joint, who are playing soon. So that is that's going to be interesting. GG's. Good win. Rybakina needed something like that. Just a straightforward, straight sets win. Yeah, okay, it was a little bit dicey in the second set. She did give up the break, but that's the kind of win that Rybakina needed. She hasn't had a straight sets. Well, I mean, after the first round where she made so many errors, that was a much better result. Fortunate not to go down, not to go 3, but still, the fact that she didn't go 3 is probably a confidence boost as well, right? The fact she avoided that third set also is also a plus. Oh, GG's. Could I get your quick opinion on Gauff match tonight? Yeah, it should be fun. Gauff should beat Zachary, but it won't be easy. Yeah, we got Layla coming up next against Andreeva, so that should be really fun. Who was in Rybakina's box? I don't think Vukov's there. I don't think he's there. I think yeah. I don't think he's there this week. So now we're going to be watching Fernandez versus Andreeva, not Joint versus but we'll keep an eye on Samsonova Joint. Don't worry. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it very much. No worries. Do you think we'll win? Who do you think will win the US Open on the men or women's side? On the women's side, no idea. On the men's side, Sinner. That's why we're watching so much this week, so I can figure out who's going to win. We're going to watch Osaka later. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. It's tough because there's a lot of matches at the same time. So yeah, maybe. It depends. It depends on the next match, to be honest. If the next match is one-sided, we might be able to watch it. Vukov hasn't been around since the French. I swear he was at Wimbledon. I'm sure he was at Wimbledon. No, he wasn't? Really? That is strange. Sinner has an injury concern, right? Well, there's word that he's got knee trouble. And usually I don't like making videos about like speculative, like, oh, this, because I know there's a lot of that shit on the internet where somebody calls a doctor and all of a sudden then everyone thinks they need surgery, right? And there's an overreaction, but I felt like it was important to talk about, because I know there's like people are like, why is Sinner not playing Canada? Where's Sinner? So I made the video about Sinner's, and Eurosport are a pretty big, like they don't just make, like they would know, right? So yeah, I felt like it was important to at least put it out there that, like, hey, word on the street is that Sinner might have a knee problem. Let's keep an eye on that, right? And we got a lot of Sinner fans here, so I didn't want to just like not talk about something, because I would have been asked about it anyway. So I thought I'd make a video about it, make it easier for me to explain, rather than having to be like, oh yeah, every time someone asks us, So there's a little bit of both, but it could be nothing, and it probably is nothing, but also it could be something, and knees are not to be messed with. So if he was like, oh, he's got a leg, like his leg hurts, it's like, oh, okay, maybe he's just tired, right, sore. But because it's a knee, it's like, oh, okay, that could be that. If it is something, right? If it is something that could affect his US Open, and he's the favorite, so it's like, well, that's a big deal. If the favorite has even if Djokovic had a problem, we'd talk about that too, right? If Djokovic had something, we'd talk about that. So yeah, I don't know the extent of it. We won't know until he gets to Cincinnati and starts to practice. Does he have a tape on his knee? Does it, like, what? We don't know, but it's still like, it's a concern for sure, right? I mean, it's especially with somebody who has a history of injury. Like Sinner has been injured. Remember, he had that hip problem. He's had many injuries over his career. So yeah, definitely a something to. I don't like making videos about like rumors, but I just felt like it was important to like mention that, hey, Sinner might have something going on, because he is the favorite to win the whole thing in New York. So if there is something, hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully that video is irrelevant in a week. But anyways, jump on over here. We're going to watch Andreeva taking on Fernandez in this next match. But nice win by Rybakina. Hour and a half. A little bit sketchy in the second set, but got through in straights. 6-2, 7-5. She is into the fourth round of Canada. Fernandez versus Andreeva coming up next.